When I was in my mid-20s, I started experiencing panic attacks. So I went to see a holistic psychotherapist to explore the source of that anxiety. And she said to me, you know, Karina, sometimes anxiety is something that wants to be known in us. And so I thought to myself, well, I'm a yoga practitioner, and one of the definitions of yoga is to make the unconscious conscious, or the unknown known. So I thought, I have a methodology for this. Let me see what I can do there on my yoga mat. So I went to my meditation cushion, and I sat down, and I made this anxiety kind of the focus of my concentration. And I really let myself listen and go into that anxiety and like hear back if there was any information I could get from the dharana, from the concentration on the anxiety. And what I learned in that listening was that there was something about my tonsils that was kind of the source of this anxiety. So in contemplating that, I went to the doctor to have them examined, because I had had chronic tonsillitis on and off since the time I was a child and didn't really think much of it because they weren't painful or uncomfortable or seemingly infected. They were just kind of large. So I went to the doctors and they said, oh, they look, a little swollen, but here's some antibiotics, here's some anti-inflammatories. And nothing seemed to change them, and the anxiety kept increasing. So I went back to the doctor a second time. They sent me home again. We don't really take tonsils out anymore. So I decided to go back to my mat, and I sat down on my meditation cushion, and I made the tonsil really the object of my concentration. And I went into that deep space of listening again and just really directed my attention towards the tonsils and listened to see if I could get some information back about what needed to be done. And in that process of listening, I proposed some questions to the tonsil about what it might need. And I would listen, and I kept getting these kind of queasy stomach feeling responses when I would ask a question like, do you want acupuncture? And then I would get this kind of visceral no. And then when I asked the tonsil in this listening process if it wanted out, it was this wave of relaxation came through my entire body, and I took that as a sign from my higher mind, awakened buddhi, mahat, whatever we want to call it. Some information came very clear to me that I needed to do whatever it was going to take to get this tonsil out. Not having health insurance, being a self-employed massage therapist and yoga teacher, that was no easy task. But finally, through the grace of the divine, I was able to get a referral to an ears, nose, and throat specialist who took one look at my throat and said, these tonsils are coming out in 2 days. So he rushed me into surgery and then sent the tonsils to biopsy. And they came back as malignant lymphoma, as a cancer diagnosis. So this really proved to me the value of my meditation practice, and why I believe that yoga meditation saved my life is because I spent that time really listening to my body, listening even when the doctors said there was nothing to be concerned about. So I want to really invite and encourage you to take some time on your yoga mat, on your meditation cushion, not just for the efforting around doing practice or doing mantra, but to really take those times to sit and to listen and to reflect, because some very valuable information might be there for you too.